What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the last video for Crypto Catch Up for 2018. What a bloody ride it has been. So welcome to any of you out there, the speculators that you are, that jumped in deep into the market in December 2017 or January 2018 and obviously have just experienced 12 months and continuing of bear market activity. Now, as we look into 2019, and we will recap on 2018 a bit, if you are going to become, new year, new me, and maybe realize that hodling for yourself hasn't really been the key to success and become a trader, well, of course, go and take the courses, do the readings that you need, but always remember this. Price action comes first. Indicators come second. So for the indicators to get the data they need to display to you the volume, the MACD, the Bollinger Bands, the RSI, it comes from that price action. So if you're following someone on TradingView that's slapping indicators left, right and center, just remember, that may work for them, but it may not work for you out there. So be careful and make sure that you are right in the headspace for what you need to do to achieve the goals that you're wanting to achieve. And remember, start small. Try and get a couple of percent win here and there. That's massive in the stock market. So if you're able to successfully do that day in and day out, you will end up doing well for yourself. But of course, this is not financial advice. This is just me and you having a chat and you doing with it what you please, because you are a smart, educated, an intelligent adult that would do the right thing. Now, of course, if we look back on 2018, it has been a shit market. We know that, we all know that. But what has been good? Let's have a look at that. Well, we're starting to see adoption. We're starting to see some of the things that I talked about at the conferences that I spoke at come to fruition. We're starting to see user experience, customer experience, the greater emphasis that it's been on the user interface. Because while the cypherpunks are out there building the next generation of protocols and algorithms and the rest of it, which are going to build a scalable and interoperable foundation for the future, we still need adoption. We need people to use it, and people simply will not use it unless we give them a reason to use it. And that's simplicity. Make it easy. Abstract away all the gibberish, because people simply do not care. And of course, if you're a speculator out there and you've come to this market to make money, that is in your interest to support that. So any of you maximalists out there, it's all well and good to support a project, Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS or otherwise. But just understand that there are flaws in your project. It may do one thing better than another, but it is not perfect. So when somebody calls out your project and lists a great tweet storm of what's going on, don't get upset. Agree with them. Hey, yeah, I know that's a problem, but we're actually building to fix it, and that's where comes my 2019. I've seen the adoption. Everyone said 2018 was going to be year of the privacy coin. I actually said that was rubbish. That's not going to happen early on in a blog I did on my website here, cryptocatchup.com. 2019, everyone's still looking for that ETF, everyone's still looking for institutional money and the rest of it. Once again, people need to understand that institutional investors aren't buying your bags off Binance or otherwise. They are going OTC, over the counter, getting their money for a price that they are, wanting to pay, and then they're emptying those, possibly back at OTC or back onto an exchange like Binance where you suckers are buying it up. So if you're thinking institutional money coming in is going to make, these big old gains and they're going to push the price up, remember, this is supply and demand, and it's based on the greater fool's theory. If you're willing to pay more than I, then the price will appreciate. Well, the fact of the matter is that they're not paying more than you and I. They're not paying $20,000 per Bitcoin. So it could be some time until we see wild fluctuations in prices like that again, because that comes from you and I. Individuals that are speculating on a market price and wanting to make money that aren't as wired or tapped into the market to know when enough is enough and greed has set in. Because if I look back on 12 months ago, I see, my blockfolio. I was showing a mate on New Year's Eve, which it is today here in Australia. I was like, hey mate, bang, 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 refresh, minute upon minute upon minute, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 it was going up by. But I stayed out. I had beers. I enjoyed the night because I thought that money was mine, right? It's mine, right? I own the private keys. I own my crypto. That's what they say. Well, guess what? I should have been home at the fucking bank, cashing that shit out, motherfuckers, getting a boat, going sailing the next day. But of course, the bear market kicked in. But that's what we do. If you've been holding on for years, it doesn't matter that I've had 12 months of a bad bear market. But it might matter for you if you've gone too hard, too fast. So as we look to 2019, I want you to ponder me this. In the real world, sometimes we have to replace things. We replace old with new. Sometimes we carry over the old with the new. That might be a database, let's say. But what about if we wanted to carry over the old to query it, but we didn't want to use the infrastructure that existed? Let's use Ethereum for example. What about if one day Ben builds Ethereum, and you then go, well, let's buy into that. That looks like a good project. It's scalable, interoperable, it's got all the good things. But my data that I've been using for my business is all over here on Ethereum. And Ethereum now no longer exists. But I want to store that immutably forever. That was the whole premise behind it. Because the fact of the matter is we have thousands of cryptocurrencies. Now, admittedly, majority of them run on Ethereum. But if Ethereum was to die, what would we do? Where does the data go? And how do we handle that scenario? Because right now, a lot of people are looking at building the future, but we need to start thinking further ahead. What does this look like in 5 to 10 years' time where we choose to not use a particular model or, the expensive nature of, Bitcoin, which obviously is a security feature, but nonetheless could change. Where does that take us? What does 2019 bring for scalability, quadratic sharding, the beacon chain from Serenity, random number generation, abstraction of the details? What's next? Who knows? Hot tip number 1 for 2019. Are you ready for this? Any price predictions, forget them. They're fucking useless. Always has been, always will be. All those motherfuckers are greedy, capitalist pigs. Tip number 2. Stick to your guns. Believe in what you're doing and do the research. It's easy to sling shit on Twitter. Make sure that you can back it up and you have a very well-balanced view of what's going on. Hot tip number 3. Hot tip number 3. A closing statement that will edge out this video and everyone will go, fuck yeah, on your Benny, off we go, 2019 baby, moon time, Lambo time. Alright, hot tip number 3. Just have a good year. Look after your mates. Look after yourself. We all want to make money. We all want to have a good time. We all enjoy a portion of the technology. It's why we're here. But believing in everything and seeing it as a maximalist view is going to get people hurt. Their little feelings hurt. Their back pocket hurt. Let's take a broader view. Let's build for the future.